Welcome, Ming. This is Global Digest think tank group. We are broadcasting about Coup in Burma, and we are sharing with different scholar, expert, professor, and activists, all kind of people to share our opinion and knowledge about democratization in Burma and around Asia Pacific. So as you are freedom defender and you are also advocator for democracy. Particularly, we will talk about liberal democracy. You can share about experience about liberal democracy and how Burmese people can learn and improve in Burma. The case in Burma, Burmese people clearly show they are willing for democracy. Across the country, people protest and now they are doing revolution against military coup. So it is a well indication about people desire for liberal democracy, no more military, no more dictatorship. You can share your experience how Burmese people can achieve democratization. Also, you said you've been to Burma, right? So how did you see at the time in Burma? When did you went to Burma? Please,
it's about 20 years ago. I visited Burma from north side, from Jiegao, cross the border to this Chinese controlled area, and at that time, and then we go down to Rangoon.
You mean from
north side?
From Yunnan province. Yunnan province to Wa.
Yeah, Yunnan province. Yeah.
Wa special area. Then you go down to the Mandalay, Yangon, something like that.
Yeah. Because there was a Chinese sacred factory over there. We went there to have a look how to produce cigarettes in Burma. Then maybe import to China, make it cheaper. And at the time, we went there to do some business research. Yeah. So I was a vice president of Chongqing Lifan Group, which was a big company, private company to produce motorbikes. So we sold a lot of motorbikes worldwide. I think it was the #1 exporter in China to sell overseas with the motorbikes. So have 20,000 people. I was vice president in charge of foreign trade. That's why I visited more than 30 countries, enjoyed my life. And one was your country, Burma, actually gave me very good impression. The people were very nice. Yeah, very good people, doesn't matter Chinese or Burmese. And only the government at that time, they are so curious about foreigners. I could say if I go to a temple, I go somewhere, I could see some people like police wear the plain clothes to watch at the people, watch at the people, watch at the foreigners.
When did you went to Burma?
I think it's 2002.
That time still
about 20 years ago.
That time was a military control, so they are very restricted. Any foreigner enter the country, and they were following you from
I
behind.
think it was military control, so that they have security police around everywhere.
Yes, you went there during military government. And now again, military government. So you never see Burmese people when it was democracy. You never been there. So at that time, you feel maybe very, sensitive. They are following you and keep watching, eyes on you, right?
Yeah, I could feel. I don't like that. I didn't like, but I couldn't do anything, right? I have to obey their law So I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't say anything wrong. So I just visit those business people and even government officials. Yeah, we try to do some business. You know, there's a Chinese people there, and they run a restaurant and they do the importing business. So I had a meeting with them. Yeah. So actually, the people were very nice. Most people, they believe in Buddhism, and they're very peaceful, and nobody openly talk about the democracy or openly talk about the politics. So at that time, I feel the pressure from the military, yeah, and the secret police as well, because I came to Australia in 1990, so I know Australian democracy system, and also I was a Chinese. I know the one part dictatorship, how harsh to people. So I could understand the Burmese people's situation. Yeah, they have to keep quiet and keep away trouble. So the military over there, I think was very powerful. Maybe now the same. So they can ignore the election result, and they can sentence Aung San Suu Kyi to jail. And yeah, it's not good. Okay, it's not good at all. as an Australian citizen, I feel so sad for Burmese people because while Burma is not a big country, and all the democratic countries like American, Australia, UK, they can do something. They can do something to force them to go to democracy, but because too close to China, yeah, too close to China, I think China is play a very big role on the back. So that's why the democratic country cannot, yeah.
China is the big, evil for Burmese democracy.
Yeah, Chinese government, I think, is supporting the military.
Right.
They try to play the balance. In name, they think they support Aung San Suu Kyi, but in fact, they just let the military run wild. They didn't do anything. They didn't say anything. So that's a problem.
You know, at the beginning, we thought Chinese government will be neutral. Chinese government will be neither support the military coup or neither directly support to democratic elected government, Suu Kyi group. However, now it's clearly Chinese government behavior is they are, strongly
it's disappointing.
They are supporting military, and they, I guess, they are now going to be full cooperation with military. They they do nothing support to democracy movement, and they never encourage Burmese people interest. They never do any Burmese people desire for democracy, freedom movement. That is Chinese government behavior. So means you are also Chinese, so you know very well about Chinese communist government behavior. And I don't know how the Chinese population, their opinion, they will be the same with Chinese communist government, or they might be different from communist government. How do you?
Yeah, most of them they're brainwashed. They're brainwashed by the government. So they don't care about like a Burma as a future, but the government is worried about it. If they let Burma go to democracy, then that will reflect back to China. So maybe Chinese people think, if they can choose the government by voting, why we cannot vote in China? So that's why Chinese government support the military, and they know it's wrong, but they cannot support the people, because if they support the Burmese people by voting can change the government, then the Chinese people say we can do the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's why. That's why the problem.
They both are doing gang gang. So,
Yeah.
if one gang, fail, it will be also come to communist government. So they cannot support democracy. As you said, right? Chinese people may not uh, aware or they not concerned much about, but I guess definitely they don't support the military coup, and maybe the people may be more
No.
comfortable with people to people communication. Like Chinese people are more interest for economic development. That is, people to people cooperation with Burmese people. That people from China
Yeah.
may more aware, but the problem is Chinese government, definitely they don't want Chinese people themselves against the communist government. They foresee if they support the democracy movement in Burma, if they support Burmese people who are protest and fighting against the military government, it it will be take example in China, and Chinese people might against the communist government. So in that feeling, the communist government is behaving. Instead, they support the military boldly. Nowadays, boldly. At the beginning, they are not doing boldly, supporting the military government. But now they are doing boldly. That is clearly a Chinese communist government. Do you think any Chinese communist government actor, either president, prime minister, or any political bureau, who might any chance to prefer democracy movement in Burma or democracy government in Burma?
No, we cannot say any. We cannot say any. But I understand the Chinese government, they are play games. So one side, they think Aung San Suu Kyi is okay with them, friendly with them, because Aung San Suu Kyi's father was very, very friendly with the Chinese government. And but another thing is they think Aung San Suu Kyi is more influenced by the West. Yeah, not really more influenced by the China. So they people keep playing games. Because Aung San Suu Kyi cannot say we go with China, right? She will not say that. But she was friendly with China, but not like to follow Chinese political role, political system. Certainly not. So Aung San Suu Kyi's democracy idea is more close to the West country like USA, UK, Australia. So that's why Chinese government just not standing neutral. It's not standing neutral now. They stand with the military at this moment. But if the West country, in the democracy countries, if we put more pressure on China and Burma military, I think the things will change. Depend how big the sanction is, how powerful the force on them, and they will change. There is a hope. And the Burmese people, they are really did a very good job. They are much braver than Chinese people. They are braver than Chinese people. They could fight with the military. That's a very, very good example. The people's will, and then eventually, I believe, the people will win.
Yes, Burmese, as you said, it's true. Aung San Suu Kyi position in the past 5 years during her government, she did not, jump into the Western alliance. She very carefully made relationship with a Western country. Still, she has made a room for China. She did not against China too. So in that way, she was cooperating with China. You may see during she was in power, she met with the Chinese leader and she went to the China and many bilateral treaty and many cooperation. So her diplomacy is, in fact, I criticize her why she is doing or she was leaning or cooperating with China. If she want to do liberal democracy, she should not concern about China. She has to jump into the Western alliance and do what she want to do it. Why she was considering for China? Because China also doing what they want to do in terms of business or anything, you know. They never consult with the Burmese government if they do any alliance or any diplomatic relation with any country. So that's why I'm not very satisfied with Burmese leadership, Burmese leader policy. They are very lack of policy making, and they are very lack of I mean, they don't have sufficient, think tank group, and they don't have sufficient advisor on this policy, foreign policy, diplomatic relations. In terms of my view, I will never cooperate if I am if I raise my flag for liberal democracy. I don't have to cooperate with China. I mean, I'm not against China, but I don't have to give my time, my energy for China for the sake of Chinese communists. I have to do for the sake of Burmese people, Burmese economic development, Burmese democracy development. I have to pay attention for that. But Aung San Suu Kyi did not did. She was failed to do many things. And now the military definitely, they are out of any policy. They are absolutely in line with the authoritarian system. They have no policy at all. They are just adapting under dictatorship with communist Chinese, policy. They don't have no at all foreign policy with the Western country or other country for development or economic growth or, a good multilateral cooperation. Even in ASEAN, this military government cannot cooperate, cannot sitting together with them. That is what app of the military behavior nowadays we can see clearly. So there's Burmese crisis is very unfortunate. As you said, Aung San Suu Kyi's father, who knew at the beginning of independence, we have very good relationship. Aung San Suu Kyi's father was more, familiar with at the time what nationalist government in China. They are democratic government. If China is democratic government, Burmese will be very, Burmese could have a very good partner. Unfortunately, Chinese politics was changed. It became communist. Even Chinese communists at the time, Burma was democracy. So UNU government was democracy, and UNU has very, carefully, they made a diplomatic relationship with China. Why China nowadays develop and they become economic growth? Because UNU and Zhao Enlai, Chinese premier, have a good relationship. At the time, China was no exit. They cannot go outside any other country. They cannot go, any country, either Western country or European country. They have no exist. Even they don't have any airline connection. They only have the one exist airline is from Burma, Yangon. Through then China can go to Burma, then only they can go to outside country. At the time, how Chinese communists had terrible, diplomatic relationship with the whole world. Nobody liked China at the time. They don't have any friends. They can only survive through Burmese. That was between UNU and Zhao Enlai. Zhao Enlai know very well about Burma. China become open and economic growth was because of Zhao Enlai. Zhao Enlai has very good relationship with Burma. He understands very well Burmese, Burmese support, Burmese attitude toward China. So Zhao Enlai very understand about Burma, and he feel like family, real brother, and like that family. So he convinced Chinese people, and even Mao Zedong, the president Mao Zedong. Zhao Enlai was the one, the main architect about Chinese open at the beginning of communist government. Through Zhao Enlai, he can convince Chinese people and Chinese government, even Mao Zedong, and then they make clearly engage with outside world through Burma. At the time, UNU made a lot of engagement with China and outside world. He brought many diplomatic and many leaders, let them meet with China. Burmese was the one, to engage. They made a chain between China and outside world. So Zhao Enlai know about Burma, how Burmese people are good to China, but other Chinese, they don't know that at all. After Zhao Enlai died, they don't know. They think they just open their country, and now they are economic growth, and they ignore Burma. They don't consider Burma. They just think Burma is poor country, and they don't care any at all, because they have many diplomatic relationship with other country. They have many friends with other country. Nowadays, plenty of friends China have outside world. So they never care about Burmese people and Burmese government. And they never consider Burma as a very same equal friend. This Chinese behavior nowadays. But at the time, without Zhao Enlai, China cannot be grow economic like that, and China cannot have engaged with outside world without Zhao Enlai. Because Zhao Enlai was engaged, he know very well Burma, and he he was friendly, and he used Burma, and Burma is also open for China, and in that way, China become open and grow economy. So I'm very disappointed nowadays. Chinese people, they don't much pay attention for Burmese people interest, Burmese people freedom and economic growth. So it's nowadays. So you are one of Chinese. So you still know, until 1990, in what was the experience in China.
Yeah, okay. I think now the world know what's happening in Myanmar, and only can be blamed is these Western countries. They didn't do much about it. Right. They just watching the military, do their way. Of course, it's the wrong way, but the whole world nearly keep silent. They just watching, didn't do anything. So that's a problem. And your people inside the Burma, the people did a very good job. Yeah, demonstrate against the military. But outside, I really cannot see many Burmese supporting group be active to persuade the Western countries to get more intervention. That's another very important side, because if you have more people outside connected like me, you know, outspoken for Burmese people, and the government may show more strength to support the Burmese people, maybe they can make things better. So Chinese government is watching. They say if the international aid become very strong, they may support Aung San Suu Kyi. Okay, but because the international support is not strong enough, so they support the powerful military group. So all depend on the international's reaction. And unfortunately, the leader of the world, Americans recently, from Trump to Biden, they didn't do much about it, right? They just maybe talking about it and say something, but no action. No action. So no action, then the military, backed by the Chinese government, they can do whatever they wanted to do.
Because they all are, you know, they all are stopped, and they all are, you know, divert their attention because of China. China is the main factor in dealing with Burmese case. So Chinese, I mean, they may not aware why Burmese are troubling, but indirectly, that is factor of China. China people should understand, and you know, Chinese government is, you know, they are doing authoritarian, so they are cooperating with authoritarian military government. So how do you think inside China, and I think you are from overseas China, I think overseas China understand well about democracy and, you know, Burmese freedom movement, but inside China, what they can do? I think they don't have much
we cannot do anything. Inside of China, nobody can do anything about it. Right. But outside of China, I really sincerely hope you will encourage your people, okay, take the leads and get other people like me to support and persuade our government, China government, American government, UK, and like German, every democratic country should have a very strong lobby group made by Burmese, and get some friends like me to join and give ideas and support. I think that's one way. Don't worry about the mainland China. Inside the control too tight. They control very tight, because if the native Burmese become democracy, they were in trouble too. So that's why inside China we don't do anything. Yeah, we keep quiet. We cannot do anything. But outside of China, we can do a lot of things.
So do you still go to the China, or is there any restriction? You can go.
No, I don't go. I'm on blacklist.
I see. Yeah. They are kind of you are expelled from China, right?
Yeah. I haven't go back 40 years now.
It's 40 years because of your freedom defenders
of speech. Yeah, because I talk here openly. Okay, not really criticize, but I tell the truth. I tell the truth. In China is a crime. Okay, you tell the truth, they don't like you tell the truth. All right, but I want my freedom of speech, freedom of expression. That's why I support Julian Assange. I support the Chinese Dr. Wang, who was a dissident in America and was put in, I think, adopted from Vietnam, take back to China, sentence him a life sentence. So I also write a petition, ask them, the chairman to release him. So I have a lot of things to do, and also do some construction and change this. Australia and China have a very bad relationship for the last couple of months. So I want to repair the relations. And yeah, so that's why in my heart, I really want to help your people. Okay, but I don't know much about it.
So, you know, do you see any possibility of change in Chinese politics, either within Communist Party, or either is there any you know, brave leader who can break communism to become a democratic system, or
yeah, we have our own problem.
Even not democracy, at least they can break down into a kind of semi-democracy or something like that. Now they are totally communist control, you know. So is there any changes, any sign of changes? Do you see anything?
We are doing change the Chinese government, change the political system, and Chinese government are very practical. Okay, they will say who is stronger influence in Burmese matter. If American become very strong, very powerful, I think Chinese government will become soft, and they will maybe let Burma go, become democracy. All depend on the international force, international freedom countries, what they wanted to do. But if we want to do the right thing, we have to band together and lobby them, because they have too many things to do. Now I'm from Chongqing. In the middle of China, on the Yangtze River and Jialing River, go down the three great dam, right? Three gorgeous dam. That's the biggest reservoir in the world, right? Yeah, yeah. Our city is over there. It was a war capital during the Second World War. The Japanese occupied Nanjing. Then the central government moved to Chongqing.
So during you were in China, it was communist government, right? That time. So
Zhao Ziyang, yeah. During 1989, that Tiananmen Square, massacre. At that time, I come to Australia in 1990.
Did you involve in the
no
protest?
No, Tiananmen Square, no. I was very careful when I was in China. And from 1999 to 2008, I went back to China for 9 years. I make public speaking, and I do a lot of public activities, but I avoid those sensitive topics. I didn't have any trouble when I was there.
But now it will be problem if you go there.
Now the problem is because I'm talking a lot, so they don't like me. So they put me on the blacklist. So I cannot go on the social media in China. Yeah, even if I go there, the next day they take off automatically. So in the system, I'm on the blacklist, but I'm trying to get off it. Okay, I contacted the embassy here, consulate here. I say, you made a mistake. Okay, I get a permit to criticize China. I bullshit, right?
They will not issue a visa to go to China, right?
I don't need to go. I don't want to go. There's no need for me to go. I stay here. I'm comfortable. But stay here, enjoying all my freedom, enjoying, because I'm 65 years old. I don't go to work at all. Yeah, that's why I have a 24/7 standby. I'm doing the my idea thoughts, separating. So you can say my about, right? From my about in LinkedIn, you can say all my ideas. those ideas should be accepted by the whole human being as a big project.
So when did you, inspire the liberal democracy for defending freedom? Because
when I come to Australia after 1990, I come to Australia. I was one of the student leader here. I was student leader here. That's why I was mixed up with the Prime Minister, Minister of Immigration. Yeah, we did a lot of lobbying. I personally involved and designed the 45,000 Chinese students stay here permanently. And now I'm an organizer to celebrate the 40,000 stay in Australia 30 years anniversary next year. I will organize a big function. Yeah, big meeting. I have a restaurant, right? You come to our restaurant, we have a meeting.